Welcome everyone to the Sustainability Management Workshop facilitated by Natasha Montesalvo. Dr. Montesalvo is from EarthCheck, so welcome Natasha. She's a wealth of information and she is here for you to utilise. If you've got any questions or you want to nut anything out that's specific to your business, she is here to answer your questions. So please, there's only a small number on the call today, which is fantastic for all of you. Because you'll have lots of time to ask those questions, so please don't be shy. As we get started, I wish to have an acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands in our region, the Naro and the Gia people, and we pay respects to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge their ongoing relationship and connection to land, sea and community. A little bit of an outline about how today's workshop will progress. As I mentioned, the workshop is being recorded. If you have a question, I will be monitoring the chat bars, so please feel free to send messages through. We are planning to finish within the hour to an hour and a half. It really depends on how much interaction we have with questions and answers. So expect to finish up between 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'll be providing you with just a very brief introduction to the Whitsunday Healthy Heart Project and to EarthCheck, and to give you an idea of how today will run, that we will be a series of clustered lessons, and each cluster, Natasha, please correct me if I'm not right here, but you will be having a short discussion and question and answer after each cluster.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So the first 3 lessons will be all about setting the base, setting the fundamentals. Then lessons 4 and 5 have been clumped together for measuring how to measure to manage. Lessons 6, 7 and 8, putting your plans into place. And the final 3 lessons will be about your ambitions and how to amplify the work that you're doing. We will be having, a group quiz. So that's really exciting. I know it's the highlight of most of our participants in previous workshops, but look, it'll be a group quiz. We'll get to do it together. So it's not scary. And of course, at the end, we'll have an opportunity for any final questions that you may have. So a little bit of background as to why we're holding these workshops. Well, we did undertake a business survey a few months back, and we did recognise that there were some knowledge gaps that were missing from the sector, and particularly in relation to how do you actually sustainably manage your business, how do you set that up, and how do you communicate that message to the wider community and to your guests. So we thought, okay, let's engage at EarthCheck, and that's where Natasha has stepped in beautifully and is providing that knowledge. The series itself has been enabled through a project called the Whitsunday Healthy Heart Project, and I know that Jackie and Phil are actually part of that project, so they know all about this, and I know Leanne is as well. So speaking to the converted. As I mentioned, it's been facilitated by EarthCheck, and really it's just about what can we do as a tourism sector to further support our ambitions with sustainability, with decarbonisation, and perhaps, that the work that you're doing is influencing those around you, and you're sort of being a bit of a role model for the rest of the sector. So that's fabulous. I probably won't go over this too much, except as I suppose for our recording, it's a good step for us. But look, the foundation, the Great Barrier Reef Foundation, is actually collaborating with us and council, the tourism sector, to improve our understanding of carbon accounting, to assist in mitigating CO2 emissions from the sector. And at the moment, we have 47 businesses in the Whitsunday region who are actually committed to doing this. So we're basically bringing the region together on a decarbonisation journey, enhancing our tourism sector sustainability and resilience, and on the way creating marketing benefits. You can see some of our wonderful partners there on the right. Just very briefly about EarthCheck, I know Natasha will probably touch on this as well, but EarthCheck is the world's leading certification, consulting and advisory group for sustainable destinations and tourism organisations. They have some fantastic practical face-to-face and online training sessions, and this is what we're tapping into today. So just introducing Natasha, but Natasha's been on our journey. She started with the project 3-4 years back now, and she's been with us from the beginning. So she's very much aware of what you all are doing on the ground and what hopefully what your ambitions are too, looking forward. So Natasha, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Lee, and once again, thank you for having us on this journey with you. One of my favourite places in the world, so anything that I get to do with the Whitsundays is always very exciting for me. So as Lee mentioned, I've been with EarthCheck now for about 4 years. Prior to that, I was with the Queensland Tourism Industry Council and worked with them as we delivered the first climate adaptation and mitigation strategy for tourism. Building on from that, we've had a number of opportunities to increase industry understanding and awareness of the impacts of climate change and how we can build more resilient communities. So I've been very lucky in my role with EarthCheck that I get to be a big part of that journey, and in particular in working with small businesses across Queensland in looking at how to build climate action as a core part of their business moving forward, which is where today's session comes into play. So for those of you who haven't heard of EarthCheck before, we've been around for 38 years now. We were born from a cooperative research centre back in the 80s. So it was federally government funded to look at the challenge of sustainable tourism and how we position the industry moving forward. We've finally come of age, and the rest of policy and legislation is catching up, and now there is more intent than ever to drive sustainability across businesses in Australia, which is really great to see. So our bread and butter is around certification and supporting businesses to reduce carbon emissions through our benchmarking program and through sustainable management. I sit on the advisory team, so we work with governments and destinations around the world to support them in their sustainability ambition, whether that's through policy decision making, capacity building programs like this incredible program that the Whitsundays puts on, or through strategically managing tourism moving forward. So before I jump into the lessons, I would love to know a little bit about each of you. There aren't too many of us on the call today, which I think means that we can have just a minute each to explain who you are and what brought you to today's session. So I might start with Leanne. You're on my top left.
Yes, hi, my name is Leanne. I'm from Reef Catchments in Mackay. We also have a Proserpine office. Our coordinator, Cass Haywood, is a big member of the Whitsunday Healthy Heart project. And I'm also part of the green team here, so we're trying to significantly reduce our footprint. So hence we're using this program to help as well. That's a few other things. So yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Jackie?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jackie and I'm at Big Four Adventure Whitsunday Resort. So I work in groups and predominantly with the school groups. So we have quite about 22 a year at the moment. And I also get given a special title of special projects. So in between the quiet time, yeah, I'm on these. So yeah, Eco is one of my little projects. And yeah, also on the steering committee for the Healthy Heart project. And yeah, we're also Eco certified in the resort and just always trying to improve. So yeah, so it's great to be on board today, learn a bit more.
Thank you, Jackie. And Phil?
Yeah, hi, Phil, one of the directors of True Blue Sailing. We run 2 fairly large backpack youth and adventure. Been doing it for about 17 years, obviously seen the change over that time on reef and climate and everything that's happening. Eco certified as well, and kind of becoming really quite committed to seeing how we can be industry leaders within our industry, as in the overnight sailing market, for trying to reduce. I've got to be honest, it's not easy because we burn diesel, an awful lot of diesel, unleaded, and the technology isn't catching up with us for what we want to do just yet. But yeah, through programs like this, it's starting to make a noise, and I'm seeing positive changes.
Fantastic, thank you. So definitely talking to the converted today, which is great to see. So feel free to ask any questions as you go. As Lee said, you're more than welcome to write in the chat as you go. as some of these lessons are grouped together, each of the lessons is between 3 and 6 minutes long, so they're quite short, sharp bites. But if you do feel like you'll forget something, pop it in the chat and we can discuss it afterwards. Otherwise, we will pause between the different clusters of lessons to have a bit of a conversation about what that means for your businesses, and to unpick any questions that you may have from that. So this course, Sustainability Management, is really designed around the process of embedding sustainable management practices throughout your business as a business as usual process. So it's going to step through the ways that you can integrate sustainability into your policies and across the way that your business is operating. So what I will do is share my screen.
Hi, I'm Dr. Natasha Montisalvo. Welcome to EarthCheck's course, Sustainability Management. Thank you for joining us. The world's resources are finite, and over-consuming today means taking away the opportunity for others to meet their needs tomorrow. Sustainable management means nurturing the management of resources throughout your business with future generations in mind. So what you don't waste today, you can save for tomorrow. Sustainability management can be as simple as anchoring your sustainable practices into policy. Throughout this course, we'll share our tools and knowledge to help you integrate sustainability management into your business vision. You'll discover strategies for more sustainable goals, policies, risk management, and operational systems. We want you to feel empowered to make positive, lasting change in your workplace. In this lesson, we will explain the meaning of sustainability, introduce the meaning of sustainability management, and explore its importance in tourism and hospitality. Let's start with the meaning of sustainability. The global standard definition used by the United Nations says sustainability means meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Basically, sustainability means not taking more than your fair share. It's all about making sure that everyone around the world has the same access to a great quality of life, both now and into the future. The next term is sustainability management, the focus of this course. But what exactly does that mean? It's about the combination of business strategies, operational capabilities, competencies, and behaviours to complement your business performance with your sustainability outcomes. There are 4 key areas of sustainability that are interconnected in tourism and hospitality. First, economics. Did you know tourism provides about 9% of the world's income and represents 10% of the global workforce? That's roughly the number of people living in the United States. So, sustainability management in tourism has a big impact on the economy. The next area is resources. All the assets that help a business to operate. Resources include people, finances, technology, products, even your time. Did you know tourism is responsible for 8% of global carbon emissions? The industry is a contributor to pollution around the world. But there's also a lot that tourism and hospitality businesses can do to help reduce our carbon footprint. And travellers are expecting to be involved in the process, which leads us to the third important area: community. Sustainable tourism means reducing the negative impact on the local community while enhancing the positive impact. This includes actions such as a localised food chain that supports local businesses, education programmes, and special events that create community pride. And 55% of visitors are wanting to leave the places that they visit better than when they arrived. This really highlights that community is a very important area. And last but not least is culture. Tourism and hospitality customers want to embrace, understand, and participate in local and First Nations culture. But you can only meet these expectations with a healthy environment, a healthy economy, and healthy people. Travellers' expectations have significantly changed. More and more, they are actively seeking out ethical and sustainable practices in the destinations they choose. So what does this mean for your business? Firstly, sustainability can be profitable for your business. It can also mean that businesses are responding to visitors' needs by considering their ethics related to society and the environment. Now it's your turn. Research your current sustainable business or workplace initiatives around economics, natural resources, community, and culture. For a more comprehensive introduction to sustainability, watch our course Sustainability 101. You can also download the glossary of sustainability terms attached to this lesson to guide you. And remember these 3 learnings. Sustainability management is the combination of business strategies, operations, and behaviours to complement your business performance with your sustainability outcomes. Sustainability in tourism has a big impact on the economy, and travellers are actively seeking out ethical and sustainable practices in the tourism and hospitality businesses they choose. Have you heard the famous quote from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, where she meets the Cheshire Cat? Alice asks the Cheshire Cat, "Where should I go?" The cat responds, "It depends on where you want to end up." This is exactly what you should ask yourself when setting up your business vision and goals. Think about where you are now and where you want to be. So that's what this lesson will show you. You'll learn about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, how to link them to your business vision, and key performance areas to help set your own goals. In 2015, the United Nations established 17 goals as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which was signed by all United Nations member states. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals aim for peace and prosperity for people and planet. They cover the following themes: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, and partnerships for the goals. The goals aim to encourage all countries to mobilise efforts to end all forms of poverty, fight inequalities, and tackle climate change, while ensuring that no one is left behind. Now it's time for you to get your business involved and become part of the bigger picture. All of these goals can be related to any business, including those in tourism and hospitality. However, tourism and hospitality have 3 goals with targets as set by the United Nations. First, Goal 8 is decent work and economic growth. This goal is to drive progress, create decent jobs for all, and improve living standards. Next is Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. This goal is about doing more and better with less. It's also about decoupling economic growth with environmental degradation, increasing resource efficiency, and promoting sustainable lifestyles. And lastly, Goal 14, life below water. This goal stands for the protection of oceans and marine biodiversity, critical to the health of people and our planet. So you can see that sustainability isn't an add-on. It needs to be an integral part of the vision and mission of your business. Do you know your business vision and mission statement? Are they related to the 3 Sustainable Development Goals? A vision statement is a written declaration that describes your business purpose, desired future position of the business, and how you will get there. They tend to be short, clear, and inspiring. Let's look at a few examples that set the gold standard. Starting with Banyan Tree, who have hotels and resorts located around the world. Their vision is to build globally recognized brands by creating exceptional experiences for visitors, instilling pride and integrity in the associates, and enhancing both the physical and human environment. Another example is Crystalbrook, a portfolio of hotels in Australia where differences are welcome. Each hotel carries an authentic expression of its location by adding playful designs and sustainability initiatives. Wow, it's inspiring seeing how many businesses are creating local outcomes with global goals at their heart. Once you've established your vision, your role is to set targets against the Sustainable Development Goals and then measure the performance. To manage the impacts on the environment, organisations from the United Nations developed the Agenda 21. It's a comprehensive plan of global actions covering 10 key performance areas, or KPAs. Each of these performance areas is essential to progress the sustainability of an operation. They are greenhouse gas emissions, energy efficiency, conservation and management of freshwater resources, ecosystem conservation and management, social and cultural management, land use planning and management, air quality protection, wastewater management, solid waste management, and environmentally harmful substances. To learn more about sustainability performance areas, watch our lesson, Measuring Your Sustainability Performance. Now it's your turn. Review your existing vision against the Sustainable Development Goals. Consider how sustainability is grounded into your business vision and your goals. Download the Sustainable Development Goals attached below this lesson. Remember these 3 learnings. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals aim for peace and prosperity for people and the planet. The 3 targets for tourism and hospitality set by the UN are decent work and economic growth, responsible consumption and production, and life below water. And sustainability needs to be a crucial part of the vision and mission of your business. Writing a policy is one of the first wins on your sustainability journey. All you need is to health check your business to understand where you are with your sustainability practices. Find out what's missing, and you're ready to write a policy and shape the sustainable future for your business. In this lesson, we'll share how to start your sustainability journey with a business health check. You'll also discover the importance of a sustainability policy in your business, and we'll explore how to write it effectively. No matter what stage you are on your sustainability journey, whether you're just starting out or committed progressing, it's important to review your business practices and your current sustainability business practices, performance, initiatives, and goals so that you can understand where the business needs to improve. In other words, complete a health check of your business. The key areas addressed in the health check are commitments and policy, including whether you've made any commitments to sustainability and developed a policy to support your vision. Benchmarking and performance, to understand how you are performing to know where to improve. Governance, to comprehend whether the business is compliant to legislation and has undertaken a risk assessment to determine areas to improve. Sustainability approach, including how the business will take action to address any risk and to propel your sustainability journey. And communication, Is the business currently communicating about your sustainability journey and your progress to staff and customers? To get you started, we've attached a self-assessment checklist. Download it at the end of this lesson. Now you've completed your health check, you can use the information to help you design an effective sustainability policy. Your sustainability policy should strategically outline your commitment to sustainability by highlighting your goals and how you'll achieve them. An effective policy requires commitment at every level of the business, especially management. So make sure that management is involved every step of the way. Now with your team, you're ready to write your policy. Start with your business scope. Business scope identifies the area that you have control over to implement a sustainability management system. Here's an example. Hotel Romeo's is a 30-room accommodation complex in the central business district of Pepito, situated on the banks of Lake Hector. The hotel includes self-contained villas, conference facilities, swimming pool, gymnasium, a restaurant, and the award-winning Gus Day Spa. The surrounding Pepito Mountains are World Heritage listed and are of significance to the local community. The scope is relevant to your business, and the remainder of the policy needs to apply to the established scope. Next, we recommend that your policy covers the following commitments. First, compliance. How you follow all local laws and regulations that apply to your business. Not only environmental laws, but also human rights laws and health standards. Second, employment. It's all about your commitment to hire local people and contribute to local employment and economic development. Next is procurement, focusing on local products and services, a commitment to fair trade, reduction of food miles, and contribution to community economics. Followed by continual improvement. How you work with your team to develop efforts over time to consistently improve your sustainability efforts and assess your performance by setting annual targets and goals. Next, protect the environment, preventing adverse environmental impacts from your operations. Your sustainability policy will address the key areas of the environment requiring protection, like water and air quality, followed by including the business goals, annual targets, action plans, and what measures are in place to manage them. And lastly, including your vision, mission, and values that align with your sustainability journey. To learn more about the goals and vision, you can watch our lesson, Principles of Sustainable Tourism Management. Now, it's time to get sign-off. This would be completed by the CEO, General Manager, or the person of the highest managerial level. Once the policy is signed off, communicate and implement it throughout the business operations. And that's it. Your sustainability policy is ready. Now it's your turn. Complete a business health check. You can do this by downloading the self-assessment checklist and policy sample attached to the lesson below. Review your existing sustainability policy and reconcile what it covers to what you can now include. And remember, these 3 learnings. Continue your sustainability journey by conducting a health check of your current sustainability practices to understand how to improve it. A sustainability policy covers the business scope, compliance, local employment and procurement, continual improvement, and the protection of the environment. And sustainability policy also highlights your activities, services, facilities, and the physical boundaries to set a scene for your sustainability journey.
Okay, I will stop sharing my screen there and give you a minute to ask any questions that you may have. Now, we will send through at the end of today's session all of those handouts that were mentioned. So there'll be the sustainability health check for you that we'll send through, as well as the overview of the SDGs, and also a supplier audit as well. So we talked about the supply chain there and how you're working with your supply chain to reduce your impact. So we'll send through a template for doing that as well, and that will follow on from today's session when we share with you your certificates of completion as well. So all that is definitely coming to you. Are there any questions, comments, thoughts so far? Has everyone got a sustainability policy in place? Fabulous.
Haven't read the mission statement for a while. I must go back and see exactly what we're saying and how we're doing as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Good prompt just to go back and have a look at it. The same with your sustainability policies that you've already got in place. Good opportunity just to go back, revisit them. Is your ambition the same? Have you ticked off a few of the things that you'd originally put in that policy? So it can be a growing document year on year where once you've reached the ambition that you had, you can start to then integrate a few new initiatives into that policy. Any further questions, or should we crack on with the next three? So the next two. So the next two lessons are really around measuring to manage, and as a core part of the Whitsunday's Healthy Heart programme. Yep, Phil.
Natasha, can I just ask a favour? For some reason, the video is playing really quiet my end. I've got my volume full. I don't know if it's some of you can maybe adjust your end. I don't know if anyone else was struggling with that, but I've got noise in the background, which isn't helping either. But yeah, if it could be tweaked up.
I'll try and put mine up as high as it goes and see if that does any better for you. Sure. As part of the Whitsunday's Healthy Heart programme as well, there's a carbon calculator that's available to all operators within the Whitsundays. So a lot of what is talked about in the next two lessons can be covered off through the calculator that you get through the Healthy Heart project, and we'll share that link with you in that follow-up email as well. So again, all of the resources that are talked about today, you'll have access to after these sessions.
You first need to know how you're currently performing in order to understand how you can improve. Understanding your performance can help you to see whether you're meeting your goals and target as set out in your sustainability policy and your vision. In this lesson, you will learn about the key performance areas, the importance of collecting data to monitor performance of your business. Measuring your performance can help you to identify the areas your business might be able to reduce costs or consumption through better management practices. Also, provide insight into your performance against your competitors through benchmarking. To help understand your performance, use these 10 key performance areas, or KPAs. They are greenhouse gas emissions, energy efficiency, conservation and management, management of freshwater resources, ecosystem conservation and management, social and cultural management, land use planning and management, air quality protection, wastewater management, solid waste management, and environmentally harmful substances. Keep these 10 key performance areas in your mind as you will measure and monitor your sustainability performance against them. At EarthCheck, we know that you can't manage what you don't measure. To help you understand how your business is performing, use the 3 M's: measuring, monitoring, and managing. It is really important to get your measurement methodology correct up front so that you're consistently measuring and monitoring your performance. Before you start collecting data, decide on a suitable period. This is important because it gives you a view of performance over time and helps you to recognise trends. We recommend a 12-month data collection period. Next, identify what data you want to collect and how. The team at EarthCheck recommend a starting point for measuring your performance is with energy and water consumption and waste production. Make sure that you incorporate any existing data collection methods. For example, if your team is already collecting water meter readings, this will become an important part of your methodology for monitoring water consumption. No need to reinvent the wheel. Keep it simple and replicable so that any team member can repeat it in the future. Use this data to monitor your performance against the 10 KPAs. This may include measuring your energy consumption. Reducing energy consumption can have major economic and environmental benefits, such as lowering greenhouse gas emissions and energy costs. Work with your team to find your current energy consumption, which might be collected from your energy or gas bills, meter readings, or utility reports. Water can be consumed from a range of areas, including cleaning, recreational facilities such as pools, watering the grounds, or cleaning surfaces such as decks and pathways or vehicles. To collect water consumption data, you can look at your water bills issued by your supplier or read the water meter. And waste. Generating waste can create negative environmental impacts due to the transportation used in its production and disposal, the loss of resources, and emissions from the breakdown of materials. You can start with collecting the volume of waste being disposed of, such as landfill, recycling, composting, or incinerating. Collect your waste data by reviewing your bills provided by your contractor or using a sampling method such as weighing your waste over a defined period of time. Now, it's time to collect your data and analyse your performance. Look at what your business is currently collecting data for and identify what's missing based on your learnings from this lesson. And remember these 3 learnings. The 10 key performance areas will help you to measure and monitor your sustainability performance against them. Energy, water, and waste are a great starting point for measuring your performance. And decide on a suitable period to collect data so that you can view performance over time and help recognise trends. You've probably spent most of your time and resources to provide your visitors with the best services. Nevertheless, changes in the industry, new trends and technology, and other sustainable advances can impact your business's value and the time that you spend on your business. It's common for businesses to use benchmarking to improve the quality of their product and services. In this lesson, you will learn how to benchmark or compare your performance against other similar businesses. Once you know how you are currently performing, it's helpful to compare your performance to your competitors to know how you're performing in the bigger picture, giving you practical feedback on where you can improve. So it's time to talk about benchmarks. Benchmarks are used to gauge your performance against other like businesses in the same sector, region, and climate zone. For example, if you're an accommodation operator based in Australia, you should not compare your performance to a restaurant in America because of the differences in operations of the sector, the region, and also the climate zone. So to understand what benchmarks to apply to your business, identify an activity measure that you will use. An activity measure reflects the key operations of your business. For example, the activity of guest nights for a hotel, or revenue passenger kilometres for a boat tour. That's the total number of passengers multiplied by the total distance that you've travelled. Calculating your performance with an activity measure will help you to compare against other like businesses. EarthCheck has access to benchmarks for over 30 different travel and tourism sectors based on intensive worldwide research and regular reviews for currency. If you would like to learn more about this, click on the link found in the lesson description. Now you understand how you are performing as a business, our tip is to communicate it to your visitors and other stakeholders. Benchmarking is a quantifiable and meaningful commitment towards your sustainability journey. And remember, you can't manage what you don't measure. Okay, over to you. Think about what you would like to measure and benchmark in your business and how you would like to compare against other like businesses. You can use the benchmarking performance checklist and activity measures to support this step. They're attached to this lesson. Remember these 3 points. Benchmarks are used to gauge your performance against other like businesses in the same sector, region, and climate zone. Identify activity measures that will reflect the key operations of your business. And benchmarking is a quantifiable and meaningful commitment towards your sustainability journey.
Stop sharing there again. So nice short ones there in terms of measuring to manage. As I mentioned, the carbon footprinting tool that's available through the Whitsunday's Healthy Heart does benchmark your performance against other operators within the same sector as you. So it really does give you that indication of how you're performing against a regional average figure and also the regional leader level. And that will give you an indication of where you might want to target some of your performance and where you might want to introduce changes into your business, be it in waste management or energy conservation, whatever it may be. I guess, Phil, for you, as you mentioned at the beginning, it's quite hard for you to make any changes in your business. Your technology is not quite caught up with you. So I guess waste management is probably the one where you've got biggest influence in terms of your operations.
Yes. Thankfully, the marina offer reasonable recycling facilities. You know, we toyed with the idea of taking the waste in. Obviously, it's a lot of cans and plastic bottles, but more the cans, obviously taking them down to the recycling depot. We were looking at as an option, but we've got to give them to the marina. Unfortunately, the crew sometimes take a stack down there and get a little bit of beer money by recycling and getting some cash, which I'm kind of trying to encourage them to do more of, because they have that time and have the motivation to do it. But yeah, I mean, month on month, I'm just observing the waste that we are getting through, even just with products pouring onto the boat that we use day to day. You know, the packaging of what we're using is appalling. I wish there was other options. We can switch to other ones, obviously wholesale bulk cleaning products we've been looking into, but again, it does obviously come back to cost as well. Unfortunately, I do need to answer to owners on what we spend, but yeah, it's a fun, ongoing, fluid situation.
Yeah, its biggest challenge is the cost benefits and where we can really make the changes. And the supplier checklist that we'll send through following on for this might be a useful tool to help you. It might kind of shift some of those conversations with your suppliers to see whether they can do anything differently for you, whether it's delivery more in bulk at one time so that you've got less deliveries coming to you, which will then again reduce the amount of packaging that you use, or whether they've got some alternative solutions that they're looking into as well. It's just highlighting your ambition and making sure that they align with what they're trying to achieve. The Containers for Change has been a great shift in Queensland and really does allow for a bit more engagement with that recycling process, and getting your staff to use it for their drinks and nights out is a great way of doing it. We've heard of a bunch of different ways that businesses have used this over the last couple of years. Some of the most popular are staff parties, so utilising and encouraging staff to collect them and then investing that back into the staff at the end of the day, or also donating to local community groups, your local Girl Guides or your local sporting community group, again demonstrating your social licence to operate within an area, which is another part of your sustainability journey. And these are all things that can be tracked and monitored over time as well. What are you diverting from landfill, and how is this process supporting your business, which is important, and a great communication message as well, particularly in somewhere like the Whitsundays where you're a really crowded market. What's setting you apart? Well, we're supporting our local community and we're encouraging our staff to do the right thing. So again, useful tools for you communicating and hopefully winning some extra customers that way. Jackie. Oh, you're still on mute. There you go.
Yep, got that. Just on that Containers for Change, I find trying to get the data from them each year to enter into the EarthCheck calculator, it's a very time consuming on our end, because on EarthCheck it's in kilos and weight, and the Containers for Change comes in items. So I've had to actually try and weigh what glass containers, what aluminium container, like how many I would get in a kilo, and get the quantity from Containers for Change and do all these calculations to get what weight it is. Is there any way EarthCheck can talk with like make it? It takes a long time to convert it, and yeah, you've got to basically take it from their spreadsheet, put it into another one, work out. I've got now the calculations, but still, it's very time consuming.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're undergoing some changes to some of our calculators at the moment, so I'll see if that's something that we can feed in instead. Again, if we don't know how other people are collecting their information, we don't know that we need to change things. So let me talk to our team, and fingers crossed, we might be able to make some upgrades there.
Yeah.
Leanne?
Yes, hi. Sorry, I have a question for you. So we have 2 years worth of data in EarthCheck for FY22 and FY23, and I presented it to the rest of our team. And I guess a question that was raised was, why do we seem to be high compared to our competitors? So we're classed as an administration in the administration sector. However, we do have a lot of project officers and a lot of vehicles, and we also lease our premise. So we have to do a calculation based on employees and the water use for the whole site. So I don't know if there's something that I'm maybe miscalculating in the water side of things, or if our energy and greenhouse gas emissions is higher because we do have a lot of motor vehicle use. We've also purchased 2 electricity hybrid vehicles, which will also, I guess, help with fuel, but not for electricity because they've got to be plugged in. So yeah. I guess trying to target where we're to reduce our footprint. We are looking at solar, but again, we lease the property, so it's going through a lot of different stages of roof reports and engineers and approvals and all that sort of stuff. So I guess my main question is, why would we compare so high against our competitors?
Great question. And what I'm going to say to that is I will look into it with our benchmarking team. So we've got a team who sit and look at data every day and know what they're looking at more so than I do. So what I will do is I'll get them to pull up your report and have a little bit of a look at it, and we'll come back to you on what it may be, or if they think there is any abnormalities within that data that you submit. They do normally have a look at the data when it comes in, and if anything is really out of the ordinary, they do flag it with anyone who's entering that data. So it sounds like it might be in the realm of normal, but let me have a chat with that team and see what they can come up with for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Leanne, what you mentioned was key. That the vehicles has a big impact because, you know, they're a direct emission, so that's going to have an overriding impact on your footprint.
Okay, any more questions on that one, or should we jump into the planning and the taking action? Let's take some action. Okay.
Famed businessman Warren Buffett once said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. Negative feedback from your visitor or any safety or environmental incident can put your reputation at risk. But if you assess all the potential risks to your business on a continuous basis, it will help you to prevent these kind of situations and keep your visitors satisfied. So in this lesson, you will discover the importance of risk management and how to apply a standard risk matrix to your business. Research tells us that 80% of businesses without a continuity plan don't survive 2 years after a major crisis. According to the United States National Institute of Building Science, we also know that for every dollar invested in risk mitigation, $8 are saved in recovery costs. Wow, these statistics are impressive. It just shows how important it is to have risk management processes in your business. So what is risk in terms of sustainability management? Well, risk is the potential for ecological harm or adverse environmental impact, including natural, social, and cultural aspects, as a result of activities undertaken by your business. Risk management is a systematic approach to identifying those risks in order to manage them. Because your business and the environment it operates in changes, it's important to conduct them regularly. EarthCheck recommends annually. So, how do you manage risk? The first step is to identify any risk. Step 2 is to assess those risks. And step 3 is to develop strategies to minimize, mitigate, and manage those risks. To help you identify risks, break them down into these categories: environmental, social, and cultural, business processes and systems, legal and regulatory compliance, external influences such as extreme weather and cost increases, financial risks, health and safety risks, emergencies and accidents, and reputation. You won't always be able to protect your business from all the risks, but planning strategies for each category will help you to reduce them. But what about risks specific to tourism and hospitality? Poor waste management, disaster situations, harmful substances, and greenwashing are all fairly common in the industry. You can find information about these risks on the resource attached to this lesson. So once you've identified any risks, they need to be assessed using a risk assessment matrix. This is a visual tool that helps to classify risks together with the possible extent of the likelihood and the consequences of the risk occurring. We assess each risk from low severity to catastrophic severity. To do this, you ask 3 questions. 1. How likely is the risk going to impact the environment and possibly the business? 2. How severe will the consequential effects be for the social, cultural, and ecological environment? And 3. Is there the ability to mitigate or prevent the risk, and what is the cost? Let's have a look at the real-life example of a risk assessment. A caravan park in Europe has noted the increasing number of heat waves hitting the park due to the changing climate. This results in sickness of guests, increased water usage, and has even resulted in several bushfires over the last few years, causing significant physical damage to the property. In this example, when putting this risk into the risk assessment, the KPAs are management of freshwater resources, social and cultural management, and land use planning and management. The category is extreme weather. The potential risk, damage to property, reputation, and human life. The likelihood is likely, and the consequence is assessed as major. This is an extreme risk for the business, and it is advised that the action is taken immediately to reduce the impact and the severity. The caravan park actions can be: first, ensure that the property is well maintained, reducing debris and overgrown foliage to minimise impact. Second, use rainwater tanks to capture additional water storage to support the property and use in emergency situations. And third, increase shading and water fountains around the property to protect staff and guests. Now it's your turn. Review your risk management plan. What are the identified risks for your business? You can also download the risk assessment matrix and assess your business sustainability risks. Remember these 3 messages. Risk management is a systematic approach to identifying risks that pose an actual or potential threat to business, people, and the environment. First, identify the risk, assess the risk, then control the risk, and use a risk assessment tool to assess the likelihood and the severity of the risk. Having a goal is a starting point, but to bring this to life, you need to set up targets to move towards your action. Let's discover how to take actions towards your sustainability journey in this lesson. We will go through what is a goal, target, and an action plan, followed by how to prepare them as part of your sustainability journey. First things first. What do you mean by goal, target, and action plan? A goal is something that you want to achieve. The target is how you'll measure your progress towards this goal. And an action plan is a detailed plan outlining tasks needed to achieve your goals and targets. Understanding these 3 things is the best way to develop innovative, inspirational sustainability solutions. Consider these 3 tips when setting your sustainability goals. First, ensure there is management commitment. Second, extract outcomes from the risk assessment and your performance to inform your goals and targets. And third, remember to set up specific and achievable goals with clear targets and how you will achieve them. Let's put this into practice with this example. Let's say you have a restaurant business and one of your priorities is reducing waste. What would be your goal and target? So your goal will be to reduce your food waste, and the target is to reduce your daily food waste by 15% before the end of the year. Sounds great. It's both specific and achievable. Now, the goal and target is set. You want to work towards this with an action plan. An action plan will include the exact task, who is responsible, the time frame, and the budget. First, develop the action plan in consultation with the team and relevant stakeholders. Together, begin to list the tasks needed to achieve this, such as weigh the ingredient portions per serve and look for the possibility to implement a composting system. Second, assign responsibilities to the tasks. For example, you may need to speak with your management about implementing the composting system and update the operations for chefs to begin weighing portions. Involving staff empowers them and encourages ownership over any of the assigned tasks. Third, set up timeframes for achieving the tasks. Management are planning to implement the composting system by the end of the year. Chefs will begin weighing portions immediately. And lastly, identify the budget or any costs for the tasks. Goals, targets, and action plans are best achieved when they are consistent with the business sustainability policy and linked to the risk assessment. This ensures an alignment to the commitments made by your business and helps drive your sustainability journey forward. Now it's your turn. Confirm your business goals and targets are aligned with policy and risk. Then start developing your action plan. You can download the action plan template attached to this lesson. Before you go, remember these 3 essential points. Develop your goals and targets that are innovating, inspirational, and contribute to the business's sustainability journey. Link your goals and targets to the key performance areas, and develop an action plan that includes the tasks, responsibilities, timeframe, and budget. Now you have all the policies and plans in place, it's time to create the structures and systems to formalise them and put them into action. A sustainability management system is exactly what you need. In this lesson, we will explore what a sustainability management system is and how to document sustainable operations and how to implement it. A sustainability management system, or SMS, is the framework for documenting your policies, procedures, and plans relating to issues around the environment, society, culture, economy, human rights, health and safety, and crisis management. An SMS is also a cost-effective and structured approach to manage sustainability performance in tourism and hospitality, which addresses expectations from your visitors, staff, and local community. Ideally, it should be part of an ongoing operational process and management to help you continually monitor and improve your performance. One of the most important components of a successful SMS is keeping all documentation in one place. This could be as simple as a Word document with all supporting links, or through a specialised software program such as MyEarthCheck. So what documentation is involved in a sustainability management system? Firstly, it will include documents such as your sustainability policy, risk assessment, goals, target, action plans, legal register, standard operating procedures, waste management plan, complaints policy and procedures, benchmarking methodology, and communications plan. Secondly, it will include the business structure and resources and which teams are responsible for which practices. In this section, you will identify the register-style document, such as versioning control, that specifies where files are saved, how, when, and by whom they are reviewed. Operational controls, monitoring and measurement will also be a part of your SMS. You will include metrics that you use to measure and monitor your business performance. And lastly, within the SMS, you will establish internal audits and corrective action procedures. It will help you to identify things that did not go according to existing processes or systems. You've already done the work, so your SMS should bring it all together. Now, use your SMS to start implementing sustainability practices into your existing processes and procedures. This includes reporting and communicating sustainability and being transparent. You can learn more about this in our lesson, Sustainable Communications. The final step in implementing the system is to train your staff so that they're actively aware of and engaged in the new processes. Make sure to include it as part of their induction training. Above all, it's critical that a sustainability management system is ongoing and will improve as your sustainability journey evolves. Now it's your turn. Check if your business has a sustainability management system. If not, start to gather the documents mentioned in this lesson. Here are 3 learnings to remember from this lesson. A sustainability management system is a process that helps you to continually improve and monitor your performance. A sustainability management system is a comprehensive, systematic, planned, and documented process. And a sustainability management system is ongoing and will improve as your sustainability journey evolves.
And pause for a bit of a chat again. Risk management, there is a great video case study of Big Four Whitsundays available at the Don't Risk It guide through the Australian Tourism Industry Council. And as part of the follow-up from this lesson, I'll share that landing site as well. It's a really great overview of why it was so important for the Big Four to continually manage and identify what their risks are and to start to implement actions to reduce them. So it's a fantastic little one, along with other videos from across Australia about a number of different risks. So looking not only at the environmental impact, but also at things like cybersecurity and the impact that that may have on your businesses as well. Any questions of any of that content there? It's really using all that data that you've collected to start taking action that's going to be meaningful to your business. Again, going back to the earlier lessons where you can't manage what you don't measure, making sure that you understand where you can make the biggest changes to your business, and covering off on that. Okay, if you've got no questions, we'll dive into the last couple of lessons.
The world is shaped by 2 things: stories told and the memories they leave behind. This is one of my favourite quotes by the author Vera Nazarian. When it comes to communication, be inspired by this quote. Communicate in a way that people understand and remember. Be proud that your business is committed to making tourism a positive contributor to the environment, the economy, and the community. In this lesson, we will share how communication is at the centre of sustainable stories. You will learn why effective communication is so important, the outcome of successful communication, and the important aspects to include in your communication plan. Let's start with the all-important question: why does effective communication matter? Because carefully designed communication is a powerful tool in engaging your business stakeholders, your team, suppliers, communities, and visitors to support you to achieve your desired outcomes. Effective communication can also change the behaviour of your visitors, in turn creating respect for your business. It may also influence the decision-making of future visitors, identifying values that align with their own. So, Communicating your position on sustainability effectively will lead you to a competitive advantage against other like businesses where your position on social, cultural, and environmental issues is much stronger. Effective communication can turn your visitors and your staff into the best ambassadors. The outcomes of effective communication are endless and may include increased word-of-mouth business, repeat visitation, additional media publicity and coverage, giving others a reason to talk about your business. Here are EarthCheck's tips to effective communication. First thing is to align your message to different audiences when communicating your sustainability goals, outcomes, and processes. How you communicate with your team will look different to how you communicate with your visitors. Be authentic and transparent in your communication. Listen to different points of view. Respond to any feedback received. Make your communication engaging. And acknowledge every win. With these tips front of mind, it's now time to develop your communication plan. Important aspects to include in your communication plan will be initiatives, goals, and targets identified in your Sustainability Action Plan, including how, when, and to whom these initiatives will be communicated against all 10 key performance areas. To learn more about the 10 key performance areas, watch our lesson, Measuring Your Sustainability Performance. People are key to any project's success, so remember to motivate by communicating throughout your sustainability journey. Our recommendations on how to engage your team are to reward your staff for participation and achievements, such as competitions for ideas or initiatives. Appoint ambassadors or sustainability champions to encourage them. A green team is the ideal means through which the awareness and motivation of staff can be achieved. Now it's your turn. You may already have a communication plan in place. If so, take the time to review it and establish if it conveys your sustainability goals and vision. Otherwise, you can download EarthCheck's template attached to this lesson. Remember these 3 notes about communication. Develop your communication plan against the 10 key performance areas. Target your communication to specific audiences and motivate and engage people as they are key to any project's success. Every workplace is a constantly evolving environment, and policies that worked perfectly 5 years ago won't necessarily stand the test of time. If you don't stay on top of it, you'll start to lose your ability to deliver on your sustainability commitments. Remember, you can't manage what you don't measure. So in this lesson, you will learn about the continual improvement process. We'll explore what continual improvement means and how you can implement it in your business. So, what is continual improvement? Simply put, continual improvement is nurturing small positive steps towards change into greater, targeted change that achieves sustainability. Visitors won't necessarily measure your sustainability actions, but if your promises start to slip, they will notice that. Continuous improvement will help your business to deliver on the promises of your sustainability commitments. It will help you to find the problems in your business operations and improve them on a continuous basis. Overall, a continuous improvement process means that you have more engaged employees, more competitive products, services, and experiences, and a proactive learning culture. So, how do you know what to improve? Start with your visitor feedback. This is invaluable insight. Feedback helps to address a range of aspects of the business, such as unforeseen risks, non-compliance from internal or external audits, expectations and perceptions that you hadn't considered, and opportunities to enhance initiatives, processes, procedures, and performance. Understanding a range of points of view and adapting as a business to consider all feedback will help you to incorporate your sustainability policy and management into the visitor experience. Here are some tips of how to do this effectively. First, as part of your communication, maintain a documented process to record any feedback and consultation with the community. Second, create a strategy for collecting and acting on feedback. And third, respond to all feedback, whether positive or negative. It helps to maintain a positive, transparent, and authentic relationship with your visitors. But feedback is only one piece of the puzzle. You will also evaluate your performance, targets, and goals on an ongoing basis. There are a range of different support tools to help you, but let's have a look at one of the most interactive continual improvement tools, the cycle of plan, do, check, act, or PDCA. It's a simple problem-solving tool you can practice with your team to make consistent, effective changes in your business. Let's try this tool on a real example. Imagine your restaurant is producing a lot of waste, which impacts the environment. So, one of your business priorities is to reduce waste. You want to achieve this by reducing your food waste by 15%. As the first step, plan. You will identify and analyse your problem and opportunities to reduce the food waste. Look at who, what, when, and how. Who will be responsible? Chefs or shift leaders? What will be the scope of possible solutions? And what will it include? Weigh the ingredient portions or introduce composting? When will they do it? What time of day? And how often? How will they do it? What tools and resources will they need? And how will you ensure the solution gets carried out properly? Update the operations for the chefs to begin weighing the portions. Great! Now you've done a plan, now it's time to do. Put the plan into action. Set a period of time to test your new process. Then, collect data to show whether the change has worked or not. You'll use this in the next step. Check. Check is about analysing your first results against the target. What outcomes are you actually aiming for? And is it achievable? List any challenges that you come up against as a result of the new process. Now that you've analysed, it's time to act. This is where you implement your solution and put it into practice. It's a cycle. Once you've implemented your first solution, you can keep using the PDCA to continuously re-evaluate your business processes, problems, and solutions. Now it's your turn. Do you have a continuous improvement process in place? Check your process on how you collect, analyse, and respond to feedback. And remember these 3 learnings from this lesson. Continuous improvement will help you to deliver on the promises of sustainable commitment that you are creating. Respond to all feedback, both positive or negative, to maintain the business relationship with your visitors. And use an interactive continual improvement cycle, plan, do, check, and act to improve your operations.
Okay. That's our lessons. Now, the communication one is increasingly important. So depending on what piece of research you read, Booking.com, Expedia, Intrepid have all done research into consumer expectations around sustainability. And depending on which one, it's somewhere between 70 and 90% of consumers are actively seeking sustainability when they travel. Whether or not they act based on that is a different story, and we've seen in some academic research in particular that there is a gap between what they're looking for and what they actually do. But making it transparent and obvious to visitors how you're engaged in sustainable practices and how they can be part of that journey has become increasingly important, particularly since COVID came along. In addition to that, the ACCC in July last year launched their greenwashing guide, and they started looking into businesses and their sustainability claims. So there is a real focus on communication of sustainability initiatives at the moment, and ensuring that you've got data to back up what you're talking about, so that you've got those plans and that action underpinning what you're talking about publicly when it comes to your sustainability journey. Tourism Australia at the very end of last year launched a communication guide for tourism operators, and again I'll share that as part of the package in the follow-up from this session, but that outlines those ACCC guidelines and talks really about the importance of transparency and having data and having plans and strategies to back up what you're talking about. That way your sustainability claims can't be questioned, or if they do get pulled into question, you do have the evidence that underpins that and supports it. So there's no question about greenwashing or not through that process. Any questions on those last couple of lessons? No? You want to jump into the quiz? Oh, Phil, you got a question there?
I was just going to say I've got some work to do. Those last few.
I just wanted to make a note, Natasha, that so this is the second time I've heard this particular workshop, and there's so much that I'm picking up. I'm sure I heard it the first time, but it's really interesting, that layered learning. So, like, I'd encourage any of you on the call, if you feel as though it's all a bit much or it's a bit overwhelming, and you can possibly make it to the next one, because this workshop will be presented one more time in April. It's well worth it. I'm definitely getting a lot out of this session.
Thank you, Lee. And like you say, there is a lot in there. Yeah. Break it down one step at a time. Reflect back on your mission and your values, what's most important to your organisation, and really drive your sustainability efforts on what's important to your business, and where you can really champion that. You don't have to be everything all at once. One baby step at a time is a step on the journey that we need to see. So to get your certificate for today's session, which is obviously why you're all here, because everyone needs a beautiful certificate at the end of the day, I do have a bit of a quiz for you. So what I will do is I will once more share my screen. Now, this is a digital quiz. You will need your phones to scan the QR code. Once you've done that, it will ask you to enter your name. So just pop your name into the box, and then we'll go through each of the questions based on those sessions that you've just gone through. So I am hoping you can all see that. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah. Brilliant. You can see the first page.
Okay, so have you got a QR code there? I can no longer see any of you, so I'm just assuming that you're all furiously scanning and typing. No, I see no one joined. Is it working? Is it not working? There we go.
Yeah, I've just joined. Yeah.
Beautiful. Jackie, you still with us? If you don't have your phone to scan, you can go to slido.com and enter 1102482, that number just in the bottom left-hand corner, and that will give you access to it as well.
We might have scared her off the quiz. She doesn't like group quiz. We've lost her camera. Maybe she's had to attend to something urgent.
Okay, well, we'll proceed ahead with the three of you. Now, time counts on this one. So if you all get the answer right, it's the person who gets it right fastest that comes out on top at the end of the quiz. So let's give it a roll. So the first question, what are 4 benefits of storytelling for sustainable tourism? Increased word of mouth, repeat visitation, marketing strategy, media publicity, and the opportunity to innovate without a large expense. So you can click 4 of those. Beautiful. Oh, look at you go. You're all paying attention. That's what we like to see. Question number 2, what are the 3 steps in discovering your story? These are the wrong questions. You're getting a sneak peek at next time's questions. There we go. I'm going to call an end to that quiz because
we did really well then with that first. We did really well with that first question, then, didn't we?
You did indeed. The best thing here is that you will get your certificate without having to do the hard work at the end of it.
Sorry, I went offline there.
Yeah, you jumped out during the quiz.
Yeah, I couldn't get back on, but what did I miss?
The wrong quiz, so you're fine. Look, if you've got any more questions, feel free to ask them now as an opportunity to ask any more questions. If not, thank you so much for joining us today. As I said earlier, I will send you an email with a whole bunch of links and resources associated with it following on from this. So later this afternoon, keep an eye on your inbox and you'll get all of that information. That will be the checklists that were mentioned within the course. It will be the communications guide from Tourism Australia, the link through to the Don't Risk It guide and the wonderful Whitsunday's case study. I think that was all of the resources from this one. So all of those will be in your inbox following on from this.
That's great. Thanks, Natasha. And I just wanted to note that I have been reading a lot in the news lately about how medium to large size organisations are having to report on sustainability and risk and emissions profiles, et cetera, so I imagine it's only a matter of time when smaller businesses are going to some extent having to comply with the same kinds of reporting. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think it's great. We're getting in now, ahead of the curve, getting prepared.
That's exactly right, Lee. And one of the biggest things that we'll see, first of all, is small businesses being caught up in Scope 3 emissions reporting. So for all of those big organisations who are having to report on their emissions, they're going to be looking down their supply chain at everyone that they work with, all the places that they stay at, and they'll be questioning each of the emissions coming from them. So as you say, it's great to be ahead of the curve and to be ready for when that moment does come where someone's asking you about your emissions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm showing a QR code too for everybody. Just love a little bit of feedback from you all on what your thoughts were, what perhaps any improvements that you could suggest. Love to hear from you. So there's a QR code there to scan. And finally, we have another workshop coming up on the 12th of March. At 11 a.m. And as Natasha mentioned, this is really a follow-on. It's a fantastic follow-on from what you've just heard. It's sustainability and your experience delivery. So it's very much about communications, about marketing. It's about how your staff can actually engage more fully with that sustainability journey with your customers. So look, it's a really worthwhile one, and I know it's been really well received. So yeah, I know quite a few of you have already registered for that one, but if you haven't, please get onto our council website. I'd like to thank Natasha for her wonderful delivery and answering all of our questions, and also for all of you for participating in today's workshop. Thank you very much, everybody, and keep a lookout for those links. We'll be sending some emails to you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Natasha.
Thank you, Lee.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Natasha.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Best of luck, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Natasha, can you hold on a bit longer? Oh, she's gone. Hi, Jackie.